Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Brought to you by Mike's E-Keys for cars. GT Car and his crew at Suple's Building and Remodeling. Suple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dreams Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty. The Ox Yoke Inn of the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Dr. Lance Forbes, Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter along with Pat Hardy, and I assume we have the coach on the line. Hi, Coach Patterson.
Captain, how are you?
I am fine. I was a little worried about you there for a while. I couldn't get you.
Well, it was my fault. I apologize. I did not have my ringtone on, and I realized I missed your call.
Okay, well, everything's okay now.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate you spending your part of your Monday morning with us to talk about a huge victory by the Hawks last Saturday. Very emotional game, and I think we all saw, even though he didn't have a good day passing, we all saw why Mark Gronowski was brought on board. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Lisa had an interesting comment after the game. She said, I couldn't help but notice when Mark was making some of those plays, you had a really nice smile on your face as he was doing it. And that's all true, because I've seen Mark make those plays before. As you know, I did one of his games when he was a sophomore. And especially when the game was on the line, he played really well, especially in that fourth quarter. And he did it again against Penn State. So I'm proud of Mark. And I'm proud of a lot of guys that were out there on Saturday night, because we demonstrated that we absolutely belong against anybody and everybody in college football.
Boy, yeah, that Katron Allen sure is a wonderful running back, isn't he, for PSU?
He's a load. They certainly have now decided that there is a difference between he and Singleton. And I think that's true. He's the more physical back, and he did a nice job. But I want to compliment our defense, too. Mm-hmm. I would say this defense is more physical than some we've had. We have a lot of guys that are what you might classify as big hitters.
Well, Wompka, I think, is bringing a lot of that mentality.
Yeah, he's the first guy that comes to mind. Pound for pound, I think he's probably the biggest hitter. But there were a lot of hard hits that were levied.
Yeah.
On the part of
Carson Shaw had a couple.
Really.
Carson Shaw had a couple.
And yeah, I like Carson Shaw. He's shown some of that too. I like 4 and 6. Intringer's a physical player. Lumby's a physical player. I'm proud of TJ, because TJ, for a corner, is a pretty darn physical player. So we have a lot of guys that understand that it's not a contact game, it's a collision game. You know, and F equals MA, right? You want to have the most force, you got to have mass and acceleration. And our guys understand that. And, of course, in the offensive and defensive lines, there's a simple expression that applies. Low man wins. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of truth to that, too. The game really, in so many ways, is won on the line of scrimmage.
As far as the Penn State running backs, Katron Allen, yeah, he was good, because those were some tough yards. But they were saying Singleton's been hurt for most of this year. He's just not 100%, and you can tell he doesn't have that. Normally, he's more explosive than Allen, at least from what I've seen in the past. But he's just been. It sounds like he's had nagging injuries all year. He ran 6 times.
He didn't have that burst.
He just doesn't have. He doesn't look anything like he used to be. No, the game played. I figured it was going to be a close game. And the Penn State quarterback, bless his heart, I mean, the guy ran for his life. I mean, he was under constant pressure. And, okay, now we're going to shift forward. That's what I worry about this coming Saturday, Don. Minnesota had 9 sacks against Nebraska, but Iowa has a much better offensive line than Nebraska, wouldn't you say?
We do, but it did get my attention.
Oh, yeah, Minnesota's defense is good.
Yes,
I can't remember a game in which there were 9 sacks before. Certainly not in recent times. That's a lot of sacks. And we'll just touch on this. Rayola is nice and pretty when he's back there throwing. But here's the honesty and the truth. You need a quarterback that can extend plays,
Exactly.
and he's not very good at doing that.
Mark would run on some of those plays where he just sits back there drifting back and forth looking for someone to throw to because he's always trusted his arm. But Mark would not allow the line to have to block that long, and he would take off. Now there's a risk of that of getting hurt, but no, I think Iowa's offensive line is really starting to. Don't you think it's really starting to come together?
Well, I think we're playing a little bit better all the time.
Yeah.
And of course, the line's been a strong asset for us to begin with, and I think those guys understand. As Bill Brazier once said, you either get better or you get worse. You be sure you're tracking to get better. So never to be satisfied with how you play.
Sure.
Just correcting your little mistakes here and there that will make a difference going forward.
Okay, let's talk about the 66-yard field goal. I tried to defend Kirk on social media and then just got destroyed. And Kirk and I are the two dumbest guys on the face of the earth. It backfired. It was funny. Everybody on the press box, what do they have to lose? What do they have to? I'm like, well, it could be blocked. And then boom, right when I said that, I looked down and it was blocked. What your thought? Were you surprised that he went for it? And what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I texted Kirk, congratulations after the game. And I did say to Kirk, for the record, I would have gone to the 66-yarder also.
I think you can argue both sides.
You can.
Yeah, you really can. And truthfully, some of those people that are now complaining about Kirk's decision, at that moment, if you could have looked at them, they would have said, hell yeah, let's kick it through.
I think you're right. Hindsight.
I think that a lot of people just have a lot of faith in Drew. And in Drew's defense, I thought at the time it was a low kick. It wasn't that low. Truthfully, if you want to assign blame without calling out a player, I would say our problem is that we were driven off the ball with that field goal rush. Guy got good penetration.
Yeah, he did.
He also was lucky. He got one arm up in the air, and the ball happened to hit that one big ball.
Yeah, and I think maybe I'm wrong, but when you're kicking from a long distance, isn't it going to start out a little lower? Because if it's from a shorter, you might want to loft it more, and everyone will stay.
You really don't have much choice, but to hit a little bit of a lower ball.
Okay.
But even then, I have a friend that's a really, really good golfer, and is really into analytics too. And he had some numbers for me that were interesting. According to him, statistically, the odds of a field goal being blocked and returned for a touchdown are between 1% and 2%.
Well, we saw the 1 or 2%.
Yeah, we saw it. I mean, my God, it couldn't have been scripted any better. The guy caught the ball on one bounce, on one hop, and never broke stride. We had no chance. But truthfully, you think about it this way. He said if the odds are, let's say they're 2%, if the odds are 2% that they'll do it, what do you think the odds are for Drew being able to make that kick? And I said, well, I've seen him.
Yeah.
I've seen him hit field goals from 70 yards even. So I knew he had a good chance to get it there. And people are going to say, well, did you see the first kick? Yeah, I saw the first kick, but I also am sure that Drew realized this one's not going to count. I'm simply going to swing relatively hard and get an idea for how much swing I need. It's kind of like a gimme in golf, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a warm-up.
Hey,
or a mulligan, if you will.
an analytic question for you from one of our loyal listeners. He reached out to me on Chris Bryan. I believe he's up in Detroit. He goes, I'm guessing Don might bring this up, but please ask Don today, what are the parameters in losing a game with an interception on the first drive of the game, having a field goal returned for a touchdown, and both got to be very high. So, I mean, the fact that Gronowski's second pass was intercepted, and then Iowa had a field goal attempt blocked and returned for a touchdown. He was asking, what are the odds of losing that game?
Yeah.
I mean, how more likely?
Well, I'd say that those odds are affected by the also aspect of the game when we had a 1-yard touchdown drive too. You're right, and I do think. Go ahead. Yeah, that more than offset the pass interception. They started to drive 35 yards, as I recall, but they did it. And nice play on the part of Penn State. We can talk about that play. Rogan Steve play, and just talking about trying to make the play as perfect as possible. Let's get this straight. It was absolutely a drop. There's no way you count it as anything other than a drop. But Mark can help us a little bit too. I've always said this, on those kind of routes where you're breaking inside, it's not so much about velocity as it is location on the throw. Truthfully, ideally you take a little bit off the pace of the ball. You want to make it a little more catchable because your guy's running a little bit toward you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And not to mention good coverage, but it was good coverage from the backside, if you will. In other words, the ball was thrown just a little bit too much on our backside, which was where the defender was. He was playing from underneath. You follow me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was playing toward the quarterback, coming underneath the receiver, trying to cut him off underneath. That's all the more reason to be sure to put the ball a little bit out in front, a little bit in front of that receiver. I don't mind our guy having to dive to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want him throwing it all behind him. And it was ever so slightly behind him, which is one reason the ball skipped off our receiver's hands.
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about trying to make a perfect throw.
Well,
A little more in front, a little bit of pace off. Having said that, the fault lies more with our receiver than our quarterback on that play.
well, if I'm going to be the glass half empty guy, the downfield passing attack is still a mess right now.
It's gone.
And
nothing.
and at some point, Don, they're going to need it to win a game, and that's my concern. They may need it this weekend.
you're right.
I still think they're going to beat Minnesota here. If it was in Minneapolis, I wouldn't be as confident. I think they're going to beat Michigan State. They're just better, and I like their chances better at Nebraska after watching Nebraska the other day. But at some point, they're going to have to throw downfield, or they're going to lose a game. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I do agree. It's just unfortunate that we're in this spot. Sometimes, let's talk about ways to generate big plays without just throwing the ball way downfield. Sometimes receptions turn into long gainers.
After the catch,
And let's
sure.
start off by saying we're doing the right thing. We're trying to get the ball to 21.
Uh-huh.
We're making an effort to do that. But it's had pretty modest results the last couple of weeks. But that doesn't mean we should stop doing it. Because let's face it, every time he touches it, he has a better chance to make a big play than the average player.
No, you're right. But why can't they get in the ball down the field some? Why does everything have to be at the line of scrimmage and he has to make like 8 guys miss? Why can't they hit him on a seam route 15 yards down where he's running vertically at full speed?
I agree with you. There are some plays, we have what we call bang routes.
Mm-hmm.
Those need to be thrown. Those are like deeper and quick slants, deeper slants, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah.
Primarily thrown against three-deep coverage. Against quarters coverage, and you got safeties that are playing back there in position to defend that bang route.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about a slant route that's maybe a break at 9 or 10 yards, a break to the inside, so it's caught at 15 or so, and it's caught on the run. Those can turn into big plays. And the key with those bang routes, you see those off of RPOs sometimes, if you're an RPO team. And we've done just a little bit of the RPO game. And the bottom line, even if you don't want to throw it as an RPO, if you go play action bang, just be sure you know where that free safety is.
Sure.
Because you didn't take the bang route where he's the lesser threat. I'm talking about a center fielder playing free safety.
And Minnesota's got a good one.
If you will. Or man freeze, another example. Where the free safety's back there, just reading the eyes of the quarterback.
Yeah.
So the coaching point is control him with your eyes, looking one way, knowing you're going to throw the bang the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, and Minnesota, it's Coy Parrish is his name, and Iowa recruited him, but he was from Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's number 3. He's really
He's
good.
a good example.
Yeah.
And, of course, Xavier's a good example, too.
Yeah.
If you're going to throw bang around against Iowa, you better be sure you don't get your receiver blown up because, number one, we'll show up in a nasty mood when the receiver and the ball get there. And, so that's important. It's important against Minnesota, too, because they rave about him. He's a good player.
He's a good player.
A physical player.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got to control him with your eyes as best you can.
Sure. And I mean, with Xavier, to me, not since Bob Sanders has a safety hit with this ferocity. Now, I'm not comparing him to Bob, but Xavier's playing himself into an NFL. He's going to have a chance. I mean, it's 6'2", 213. I mean, he's really having a good year so far. And I wrote today, Don, I mean, Iowa's got a nice little thing going at safety with Lutmer and Cohen, Intringer, and Xavier. And of course, I like the two corners. Deshaun's been up and down. TJ's just steady every week. But these three safeties, what do you think? They're really, I mean, Xavier and Cohen the three of them combined for 28 tackles in that game. 11 for Cohen, 10 for Xavier.
You're right. I like all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me, we had a guy years ago, Damian Robinson. Remember that name?
Oh, Damian Robinson. Yeah, he used to lay people out. He was before Bob. Dallas, Texas, wasn't it?
I recruited Damian out of high school.
Yeah.
And I was also, as you might remember, I was the pro liaison for the NFL scouts when they came to town.
Okay.
And I told them, of course, one thing you value is the fact that you have a reputation for not lying about players.
Mm-hmm.
Telling the scouts the truth about players. I've always done that. And that's what they know. Some coaches misrepresent their players. Other coaches do not. Kirk does not misrepresent his players with the pros. I never did either. Hayden might have oversold a few guys here and there. Maybe just because he loved the players.
Imagine that.
Them to have the best chance too.
Sure.
Here's my point. I told the pros about Damian Robinson. I said, up until now, if anything, he's underachieved a little bit. But he's got 1 year left. I think you're going to see him demonstrate he's an NFL safety.
And that was 1996. 1996.
And he did that, and he had a nice NFL career.
He did.
I'm proud to say that he did.
Yeah, he did. No, he laid people out.
And I would say the same thing about Xavier if I was talking to the pros prior to the season. He's been a good player in the past, but I still think he's got more upside than what he's shown. And he's doing that this year.
Now, he did say... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Like an all-conference safety.
He did say this past week that moving from strong to free has freed him up to play, he says, with more freedom and just the ability to move around more and make more plays. Now, you would understand that more, Don. It sounds like the Strong's got maybe some other assignments. But then you look at Entringer, he had 11 tackles. They had 21 tackles between the two of them. And a lot of those were Katron Allen keeping him from one thing. Allen had one run of 30 yards. As great as he was, most of his runs were between like 3 and 9 yards, tough yards. But don't you think the D-backs did a nice job of tackling? Because if they didn't, he was breaking them.
Absolutely. Here's the nice stat that can come to mind. You know, when I look for explosive plays, it's a very time-consuming process. Because Katron Allen's a good example. We know he ran for 148 or whatever
145.
How about
28 carries.
How many carries? 28 or something? I can't remember.
28.
Yeah. But here's the tricky part. I knew he had that a big play, that 30-yard play. But when I'm doing research on how the game went, I have to go back and look at every play in that entire game with the opposing offense. Because I want to be sure when I tell Kirk, you had one play that you gave up one play that was explosive, only one. My point is, for all I knew, Katron had a 20-something play in there too. You follow me? Mm-hmm. But the stats just say his long game was 30. Well, I got to go back and look at all 28 carries to be sure that I don't overlook another carry that was by definition.
Well, he averaged 5.2, which is good. He averaged 5.2 yards a carry. 28's a lot of carries, but he did average 5. He had a bunch of runs between like 3 and 15 yards. I mean, it was amazing. And there were times where he would break multiple tackles to get like 9 yards. It was impressive.
You're right. They still have a lot of good gainers in there. But the point is, I think you heard me say maybe going into the game, I don't doubt that they're going to hit some chunk plays on us, in part because Andy Kotelnicki tries to make big plays.
Their longest play as a reception was 14 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, we did a good job. And
Iowa's was 12.
Some of them are tricky, meaning the ball's not thrown that far down the field, but it's a chance to be a big play. Talking about a pick pass maybe for a rubber out versus man, something like that.
Sure.
When you have a chance to catch it and run with it. So the challenge, of course, is to be sure that you limit, just get them on the ground. I mean, it gets back to fundamentals, like just be a good tackler.
Uh-huh.
If they hit you with a good play, all right, acknowledge that was a nice play, it was well executed. Here's the bad news for you. We're going to tackle you at the first chance we have, and you're still only going to get 12 yards.
Well, yeah, and that was the problem. Allen kept consistently getting to the third level. That's why those guys had 28 tackles combined, but they still made the tackles. There could have been a lot longer runs. But okay, Don, what'd you think of Penn State's putting the Dowling quarterback in 3 times? Every time he knew he was going to run sideways, and what'd you think of that?
It didn't
Well,
work.
my initial response was, why bother?
I did
Exactly.
because he's home in his home state.
It made me wonder, are you just trying to appease the kid? Are you afraid he's going to leave? I understand he is a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, he's not. I mean,
He's a year older than number 17, so maybe that's part of the deal. He's back home. I don't doubt that a lot of family and friends were at the game, and they were hoping to see him play.
Yeah.
And they appeased him by playing him. But the weird part, Andy was trying to play some mind games with us. You might have noticed, I think in general, when 14 was in the game, 17 was still in the game.
Yeah, he would flank out.
Lined up as a wide receiver. Matter of fact, I'm not sure that 17 was ever out of the game when 14 went in. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a time or two. I can't recall.
But it put him in a tough situation.
It just wasn't effective.
No, and
at all.
Yeah, it just didn't work because you knew, they're going to run him to the right, and boom, they ran him to the right. And,
Well, here's my point. If you were assigned running ability, I'd probably give an edge to 17 over 14.
oh, I would agree with that. I was impressed with Grunkmeyer's ability to get out of trouble in the pocket. I mean, he looks like down the road he could be a decent quarterback.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, Don.
Back to their first 4 snaps.
Yeah.
This is after the interception, right? They got field position on the first possession. They start off on the plus 35. On the 4th play that they ran offensively, you might recall what it was. It was 4th and 4, right? It wasn't 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
Or was it 3rd and 4?
Well, all I know is it took him 10 plays to go 35 yards.
It was the 4th play.
Yeah.
It was 4th and 4 on the 29. Ethan Grunkmeyer proves he can run. Scrambles for plus 10. 3 missed tackles.
Yeah.
Now, I would count them as missed tackles.
Yeah.
A Penn State fan would say, those weren't missed tackles. We just ran through those tackles.
No, he's
Well, we had guys that touched him for sure and didn't get him on the ground.
Yeah.
And they would say that's poor on my part. And maybe a couple of them were those same guys we were bragging on.
Yeah.
4 and 6, I think.
Yeah, I rewatched the game last night, and they looked like missed tackles to me.
And some of that credit goes to the.
I thought we were a little bit sloppy.
Yeah.
He's a good runner.
He's a good runner. I was impressed.
Yeah, he's not Tavian Banks. I mean, come on.
But as a quarterback, I mean, as a quarterback, I was impressed with him. I mean, but
he had above average running ability. He did.
Yeah, and they don't have any way to get Devontae Ross the ball. They just look they're bound downfield. And I will say Terry Smith came out after the game and said, "We've got to start throwing the ball downfield." But he said we haven't done that all year, and they really haven't. Devontae Ross is just being wasted there.
Yeah.
I mean, they barely. I'm going to look in the stats. I got him in front of me.
He had maybe 4 catches.
Devontae Ross had 2 catches for 15 yards.
That's it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they never ran him. He didn't run.
Let me share this with you. When I was over at practice on Wednesday last week, of course, players come by and after practice, and mostly they just say hi, just a short visit. But I was talking to TJ, and I said, TJ, there's some good analytics that are going to help you guys. But the one I failed to cover with my analytics, as far as putting it in print, I didn't really have to put it in print because you can bet that Phil Parker knows the same thing I know, as does Kirk Ferentz. But I wanted to be sure that TJ heard it too, and I just happened to be talking to him. I said the one thing I failed to put on that tip sheet, for the coaching staff, is don't sleep on Devontae Ross. And he said, Coach, believe me, we know that, and we know it very well.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to always be aware of where he is.
And they were.
Yeah, they were. And having said that, we did a good job controlling. Let me talk about a specific drive. First possession of the second half. You might not realize it unless you really looked at the game really closely. On 3 out of 4 plays, they made a real effort to get the ball to number 5.
They did, and it just didn't work.
Ross.
Yeah. And they looked discombobulated.
And they did get the DPI. That was the last of those plays, matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it was a third down play, I think, wasn't it?
I could look it up, but I don't recall. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let me check my notes here. Bear with me here for just a second.
Well,
anyway, they made an effort. It was the first series of the second half. I just can't find. I've got too many notes. That's my problem.
Well, I've got the stat sheet in front of me. I can find I can go first play of the first drive of the just a second. Tom, what'd you have for dinner last night?
Chili and cornbread.
Homemade chili?
Yes.
Okay.
It was delicious.
Here we go.
All right.
You got it?
First play of the second half. You remember what the first play of the second half was?
Yeah, I've got it right here. Brunkmeyer incomplete pass.
Ross, defended by Luckner. And Zach was in good position on that play. He was an inside receiver. They tried to go over the top. They threw it. It was defended.
Yeah.
3rd and 14 on that same possession. They went tempo and again tried for Ross.
Yep.
That's when they got the DPI.
Yep.
So on 3 out of 4 plays, they purposely threw the ball at Devontae Ross. 2 of those 3 plays were way down the field.
Look at this in this drive you're talking about, Don. Listen to Katron Allen. Okay. Second play in that drive, 30-yard run. Allen next play, 3-yard run. Allen next play, 0-yard run. Then a few plays down, here's a sequence in that drive. Allen run left 8 yards. Allen run middle 4 yards. Allen run left 8 yards. I mean, and then that's when they kicked the field goal. Yeah. They tried to throw to Ross, realized they couldn't, and then they just kept giving the ball to Allen. He get 4-8, and then they get a field goal out of it.
Yeah, and then on that drive I'm talking about with the DPI.
Well, that's the same drive. It's the same drive.
They score a touchdown, not a field goal.
Yeah, that DPI.
Oh, point after kick after attempt is what I meant. Yeah, Allen scored on a 8-yard run to cap the drive. With 9:30 left. But they tried to get the ball to Ross. It didn't work, and they went to Allen.
And now it's 21-10, and I made this point because they were doing a good job of burning time, right, with that drive.
Oh, that drive was a perfect drive for them.
I believe the field goal drive you're talking about a little bit later.
Well, no, I just read the stat sheet wrong. I read the thing.
Play drive.
No, I'm talking about the same. I just read the stat sheet wrong. That was my bad. It was I read Barker kick attempt good, but that was the P after a tick. No, this is the drive. They have 3 times where they tried to get the ball to Ross, didn't work, and then they just handed the ball to Allen, and he got him in the field, and he scored the touchdown.
Yeah, and I don't doubt it had. Of course, their interim head coach said we got to try to get the ball down the field. Mm-hmm. Well, the best guy to do it with is number 5. That's for sure. Yep. We found out that out the hard way last year against Troy.
Yeah, and it's weird that Penn State doesn't have better downfield threats. It's just their passing attack, much like Iowa's downfield.
Well, I think it's the quarterback not being able to.
Yeah, and I think that is part of it. But man, I mean, well, who knows? It just seems like a school like Penn State should have a competent.
You would think.
And then let's see. Then Don, the next drive. What's interesting is Iowa. They go. Let's see. Iowa. How important was that next touchdown drive by Iowa after they fell down 21-10 to get that game?
I think it was critical. I'll tell you why I say that. I just wrote it down this way. Penn State scores a TD. Now it's 21-10. Mm-hmm. My next comment: we need points on this possession, the very next possession.
Yeah.
We answered. We drove down the field. Of course, Mark had a lot to do with it.
No huddle the whole drive.
Yeah, and it was critical that we answer, and we did. Mm-hmm. We, again, made it a one-score game.
And that Gronowski had the big run of 38 yards. Now, his second run, he actually did. I couldn't believe those safeties were like diving at his feet. They looked ridiculous trying to make tackles. But, Don, Penn State just seemed so not prepared for him possibly running the ball. Did that surprise you, how wide open that looked? and how easily they bought the bootleg fakes and everything?
And uncontested on the bootleg.
Yeah, I mean, what your thoughts?
Well, you just got to, against a mobile quarterback, you better, for God's sakes, if you're on the backside of a play, now when I say on the backside, I mean the flow is going away from you, the back's moving away from you, right?
Yeah.
And the quarterback's even up and away from you, you better stay at home. And of course, Mark made him play not once but twice.
No, you're right. And yeah, go ahead.
And one iced the game, one gave us a chance to take a knee at the end of the game, and of course the other one was a touchdown.
Yeah.
No, and it was a good bootleg.
Red zone.
It was a good fake, and I had a couple of people tell me after the game, they're like, Gronowski's like he's like a fullback. He's more and he is. He's not. I mean, Grunkmeyer to me looked more elusive than Mark Gronowski. If you just go, but yet he still finds a way to get open. Okay, but Don, the glass half empty again. Minnesota's going to see what Penn State didn't do. Minnesota, I think's got a better defense than Penn State. I can't believe I'm saying that. So what do you think they're going to do to stop what Gronowski was able to do against Penn State?
Well, one thing that we're doing that's smart. Tim did a good job of getting the ball, trying to make big plays with 21 with Caden, right? I don't know how many touches he had.
They've done that. They did that at Rutgers too. They're trying to get him involved. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see his stat.
And the other aspect of that really showed up in this game. Tim is also doing a good job of using Caden as a decoy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's face it. If it appears the ball's going to Caden, you better be running in the right direction. Because otherwise, on the perimeter, of course, you got to rally out there and get him on the ground. Which, of course, means you have a chance to have other misdirection plays going away from a faking Caden region. And that's part of what we did, too, with good effect. I'm not talking about just running a reverse the other direction. I'm talking about maybe just a misdirection play where the back in the backfield is simply heading downhill away from the direction that Caden's going.
Yeah.
Against the grain, if you will. And those were effective plays. Away from the flow of Caden region.
He had 3 carries for 8 yards, and he lost 3 on one of the runs, and he had the 8-yard touchdown. And then he also, as a receiver, he was targeted 3 times, caught 2 for 21 yards. This is interesting. He targeted 3 times, caught 2 for 21 yards. Yards after catch, 26.
Caught one behind the line, maybe?
Yeah, they were balls thrown behind the line.
Okay, is that what so
what you might think of as a bubble screen.
And his longest play was 12 yards. So, yeah, I like the fact that they're going at him. I just wish they'd get him the ball sometimes when he's going vertical instead of – Don, it just seems like – and it was same with the Penn State. It just seems like 99% of the time an Iowa receiver catches the ball, they're running sideways instead of vertical. Am I reading into that?
Yards after catch. Yeah, you're right.
So why?
I said this before, and it really applies even now. Especially the teams that want to load the box and play man, you got to have man beaters. You got to scare them out of man coverage. How do you do that? Rub routes. You heard us talk about rub routes. Throwing the ball behind the line with linemen downfield, or bubble screens, another example, with those outside receivers as blockers, thrown to an inside receiver that's running to the perimeter of the field. Again, that inside receiver, it might be 21, but it also might be 25. Because you and I both like McNeil also.
Yeah, I like him in space. I wish they would have.
Let's not forget about McNeil.
Yeah,
I believe he has a little more home run potential maybe than any of the backs.
I agree. 2 carries for 4 yards.
I want to give Kamari a lot of credit, too. He played a good football.
He did. He ran hard.
Yeah.
But I do think that especially a fresh McNeil coming off the bench maybe has even more big players potential than the other backs.
Now, Kirk did say that it looks like Patterson may be back.
What's his injury?
I think it was an ankle. And that would be big if they could get him back from Minnesota.
Yeah. I did see Jazz on the practice field on Wednesday, and I had a smile on my face when he was walking off the field. And I said, Jazz, I get the distinct impression you're going to be back with us pretty soon. And he smiled and he said, I believe so, Coach. I'm not too far away.
Yeah, and that Kirk brought that up after the game, so it's not like we're sharing any. He said that it looks like Jazz will be back. That, to me, is significant because I think there's going to be tough running yards against Minnesota.
Yeah, and you need yards after contact.
Yeah.
You need what I call the hard yards.
Yeah, so.
And Jazz gives it to us, and of course so does Xavier in particular.
Yeah.
And Kamari, you might say Kamari's a little more finesse than
I think he's got a little Akram Wadley in him.
But he also gets yards after contact too.
He does. No, he's impressive.
He's still, nobody can say he's not a tough runner because he's a tough guy too.
He is.
He just doesn't quite as much punch. Let's face it, Xavier's thighs are pretty darn big for a running back.
They are. Okay, glass half empty guy again. What's going on with the tight ends? Is it just an injury to Addison? The tight ends have been pretty much non-factor since Lester got here. Is that just the way it goes with him, or what is going on with the tight ends?
Good question. I don't know. You're right. They haven't been targeted very much.
Hayden Large targeted once, had a 10-yard pass, and that's it. I'm not yet.
Ortworth
had a target or two, didn't he?
Not according to the stats.
Well, and then the back of the end zone, on the two-point play, that was 88, right? That was Hayden.
I thought that was Ortworth. But according to, I got the
stats. But that's okay.
I think you're right.
I got the stats right in front of me, and Ortworth, stat-wise, was not. Well, either way, the tight ends are a non-factor in the passing game. Is that something that's a concern to them, or is that something that they're consciously doing because they're emphasizing other stuff?
Well, you've heard me say this before. I don't want to put all the burden on Tim. I told you the story. Bill Snyder says to me as a young tight end coach, Donnie, you got to help me with pass offense. I want you to give me some ideas about how to better utilize the tight ends.
Okay.
And I was always happy to do that because I knew Bill Snyder's asked me to help him. I'm not going to disappoint Bill Snyder, and I'm sure our tight end coach won't want to disappoint Tim either.
Sure.
But I would encourage him to be a more valuable resource to Tim. I mean, Tim's only got so many hours in the day. Give him all the help that you possibly can. And if you can come up with some ideas about how to get the ball to Y, as we call him, the tight end, then for God's sakes, let's do it. Because you're right, we do miss. I mean, my gosh, that's why I enjoy watching the Detroit Lions play.
Yeah.
Because they have a priority of getting the ball to Sam Laporta.
Okay, now, Don, I want to ask you, as a coach, sorry to interrupt, but I want to ask you, when does it come the responsibility of the player, too, to just make plays within the framework of what you're doing?
Well, you're right about that. Listen, if you want the ball, you better impress us when we throw the ball in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you better never drop it, and you better be good after the catch, too.
Exactly, like
if you're
Laporta.
a tight end, you better be swinging for extra yards and prove I'm just not going to get tackled by the first guy that shows up. I'm going to run through that first tackle. I'm going to get my pass down. I got to know who I am. I'm not going to juke anybody. I'm a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Get your pass down and run through contact.
So often the tight end has been a security blanket for the Iowa quarterback. And even that catch by Large, the 10-yarder, that was a big catch. It was significant.
Yes, it was. Because it made that field goal easier.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not trying to be overly negative because, like I said, they're 5-2. I mean, they are. I mean, I still see 8-4, 7-5, but all that matters is Minnesota this week. Okay, Don, Minnesota's running attack is not what it's been. Darius Taylor is back and what have you. Is it another thing where just turnovers and whoever runs the ball better? Are those going to be, you think, the two biggest stats, running game and turnovers?
Well, I think turnovers will be big, of course, because turnovers always do matter. Incidentally, we did win on turnovers.
Yep.
You could argue that the value of one was limited. I'm talking about Deshaun's interception, which was the equivalent of a pitch punt, right?
Yeah, if I was a Penn State fan, I wouldn't have minded that interception.
That was a third down play.
Yeah.
Of course, it's hard for him to know exactly where he is on the field.
It's a hell of a catch.
And here's the reality. Somebody said, well, that could have been a long field goal attempt. I don't think so. That would have been a 56-yard attempt into the wind.
Yeah, there's...
And I think any kicker would have had a hard time getting the ball there going to the north. So, but it's still... we simply don't know how the thing would have played out with the boost punt.
No, but coaches can't win, Don. I mean, they're getting critiqued for not doing it.
On the one, we don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe the 4-yard line sounds good compared to the one, doesn't it?
Well, they're getting critiqued or criticized for not trying a 56-yarder. Kirk gets ripped for trying to. You can't win. I mean, had that 66-yarder gone in, oh, gunslinger Kirk, look at him, points at midfield. But since it backfired, I mean, I couldn't believe the feedback. That is inexcusable. That should get him fired alone, stuff like that. I was getting that on Twitter.
I use the expression I sometimes use. Those people don't know their butt from third base.
I agree with you.
Expression.
I agree with you on that. I didn't have a problem with him doing it. It backfired.
I didn't
Some
either.
of those people, and I even told Kirk, I said, don't beat yourself up over that, Kirk. That was not a bad decision. I'll admit it was an emotional decision.
That's what he said.
Word.
Yeah.
But here's the truth. People that know Drew, they asked me, the analytics guy from golf that I know, he said, what kind of percentage would you give Drew on that? And another guy that knows Drew really well said, I know how long Drew is on field goals. I'd give him a 15% chance of making it.
I was going to maybe, okay.
Then the guy asked me, he said, Coach B, what do you think? I said, to be honest with you, I was thinking 20%.
Okay.
I think he'd make 1 out of 5 from there with the win.
Mm-hmm. With the win, which they had.
Back.
Yeah.
And we've seen him on kickoffs kick it through the uprights time and time again.
And speaking of the weather, what were you thinking when there was lightning in the distance?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Well, I didn't even notice the lightning, but let's talk about that because some people, somebody called in on the postgame show and said, why did Kirk win the toss and take the ball? Because they know that people in general defer, right?
Yeah, I know.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth that I went ahead and mentioned it on the air. I said, here's the truth. Last fall, I said, I know what the numbers say because I've done them. There were 82 games played last fall. 70 times the coach that won the toss deferred. You're right. That's what most coaches do. But here's the rest of that story. Okay, so if they defer, if that coach wins and defers, what does the other team do? Well, they take the ball, of course, right?
Yeah.
And now the team that defers says, we got what we want. We want the win to start the game. Okay, that's all well and good. But what happens at the end of the first quarter? The team that played in the win in the first quarter now has the win. Mm-hmm. And the more consequential quarter is the second quarter, not the first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the analogy I'll use, it's like a boxer or a wrestler. In the first period, or in the early stages of a boxing match, they're kind of signing each other up, filling each other out. More conservative play calling in the first quarter in general. Fewer points scored in the first quarter.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about
in general.
that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More points scored in the second quarter. Significantly more points scored. And because of the chase, of those 70 teams that won and deferred, guess what their win-loss record was last fall? That's a cross-section of everybody in the league, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact Ohio State defers all the time. And I watched them do it. But
I would too with that defense.
All those times when Ohio State won the toss and deferred, the record in those 70 games for the team that deferred was 30 wins and 40 losses. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no.
A little surprising.
In other words, the team that lost the coin toss and heard the other team say, we're going to defer, they reluctantly took the ball. They didn't really want to. They were planning on deferring also. In the end, they were rewarded because the second quarter win has more significance than the first quarter win.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, no, that's an interesting point. That's why you're the coach. Now, I want we're getting short on time here, and we've. Are you surprised?
Let me give you one other reason that comes to mind. Another argument for taking the ball to start the game. When the second half rolls around, what does the other team do? They didn't get to take the ball to start the game. They take the ball, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
To start the second half. That's what they do.
Sure.
It'd be crazy not to.
Yeah.
They have a chance in the second half to end up with one more possession, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But only if they take the ball first. Now, maybe you got one more possession in the first half. The odds are 50-50. You might or might not have. But here's the rest of the story. If they take the ball, as they always will, unless you got a 40-mile-an-hour wind going, maybe they wouldn't take the ball then. But in a normal situation, they take the ball. Now you have a chance as the team that's kicking off to start the second half. You have to decide when you want the win. It's your choice, right?
Yeah.
You can have the win in the third quarter or the win in the fourth quarter. I know what the forecast was last Saturday night. The wind was supposed to be even stronger in the fourth quarter. What did Kirk do? He kicked into the wind to start the third quarter.
Okay.
It was a sound decision because we weathered the third quarter, and guess who won the fourth quarter?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
We did.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about how big was the win. You guys are outside.
It wasn't huge, but it wasn't non-existent.
Okay, with the time we got left, I want to ask you a couple other things. Are you? Is there any way Luke Fickell can survive this?
I don't think so. I think the Dodgers already test. What I've heard from a reliable source is there's a clause in the contract that says if he keeps his job until December 1st, they don't owe him so much.
Yeah, that significant amount of money drop after December 1st is what I think they're waiting for, which means they're going to probably go 2-10.
They sure might.
I mean, Don, somebody posted their last 37 drives, I believe it was, and it was just punt, interception. It was just startling how bad they are. And I know they've had injuries, but my God, part of being a team is absorbing some injuries. And I mean, just.
Well, it's a lot more than that. They're completely discombobulated.
They just don't have they're just not very good. How surprised are you at how fast Wisconsin has dropped?
Well, I'm surprised. It's happened pretty quick, hasn't it?
Oh, it really has.
But as you know, they've kind of lost their identity.
Oh, they have. You're right. They have no identity.
Yeah.
And then Michigan.
And then to make matters worse, it appears to me our head coach has given up too. And the best example, the most graphic example, you're down 37-0 against a hated rival in Iowa, and Iowa has backups in the game in the fourth quarter, and it appears you don't care whether we score or not. My God, you keep fighting, you keep playing.
I agree. Yeah, no, it's just
37-7 sounds a hell of a lot better than 37-0.
No, you're right. And hey, do you care to try to make a prediction on who you think the next Wisconsin coach is? You think Fitzgerald gets a serious look?
Well, I think he might get the first phone call.
Okay.
I know if I was the AD, he'd get the first phone call.
Well, the AD might be getting fired too.
Yeah, evidently from my Wisconsin friends, they tell me.
What Bob told Hayden, Hayden, you've got to be the savior because if this doesn't work, I'm going too.
Sure, and he would have been.
Hayden.
Yeah.
And Hayden made a home run hire. Bump made a home run hire. And Bump was AD as long as he wanted to be AD.
Well, McIntosh is a former star lineman for the Badgers. He had everything in his favor, but it just hasn't worked out. The Fickell thing was a bad hire. And it's just hard.
I suspect they have his bags packed, too.
Okay. Now, Michigan State's, it's only Jonathan Smith's second year, but they seem to be trending in the wrong direction. They've got too much talent to be that bad on offense. I think their receivers are, they've got as good as receivers almost other than Ohio State as any team in the Big Ten. And, Don, I've watched them. They're just Tom, he's not getting any better.
No, he isn't. He's had a rough year.
Yeah, there are a couple of teams, you can almost predict it. And you know who they are probably. They simply need to schedule a 6-game football schedule, not 12. 12's too many.
Yeah,
they're really good for half a game, but they can't play a full game or can't play a full season. And you probably know who both of them are.
I know.
I'll give you a clue. They're both back. They're back toward the east. One of them is Michigan State, and the other one's Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland. Yeah, lost another close game. I'll tell you, UCLA. Doesn't UCLA play Indiana?
Yes, they do at Indiana. Hey, another interesting thing: there are 9 Big Ten teams, Donnie, that are 5-2. Half the league.
I know. I was looking at the standings. Oh my God! If you're one of those over teams, there aren't very many over teams. Oh, no wins. I'm saying. But there's a clear disparity. You're right. People that are losing games, everybody's putting them down. Everybody's beating them. And, of course, there's a lot of demoralized teams like Wisconsin and Michigan State and Maryland. Probably all three come to mind. And then there's the other extreme. UCLA
Northwestern.
appears to be a different football team.
Yeah.
You might even call that a trap game for Indiana, because we both know UCLA does have some talent.
They really do.
Quarterback.
I think Indiana's going to win, but
wild card.
I think I give at least UCLA a chance. They're a decent team. They really are. They're playing well, and their quarterback is very dynamic.
Yes, he is.
And they seem to have an energy about them right now.
He's a great example of a guy that can extend plays.
Yes.
He's a good runner.
Yeah, we saw that against Iowa.
We sure did.
Okay, and
Yeah.
so I look at the Michigan. I mean, Iowa's schedule doesn't look near as bad as it did, but well, we're seeing that now with Penn State's situation. But of those 5-2 teams, Tom, isn't Northwestern one of them?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of Northwestern? I know they haven't played a tough, but they're 5-2. To me, that's incredible that he's gotten 5 wins out of that team already.
Yeah, and let's not forget, he went into Happy Valley, and it wasn't a whiteout, as I recall, and they won anyway.
Yeah, by a point, just like Iowa did at home.
22.
That's
21,
impressive.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets back to the prediction models you hear me talk about. Of course, I won't divulge everything about them, but that game I've got this year, it's under. I'm talking about Northwestern at Penn State. Penn State won most of the parameters in the top 15, but you've heard me talk about the prediction model, and they only lost 5 parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Northwestern won 4 of them against Penn State. That's why they won the game.
Okay.
They look like they didn't deserve to win it, but the ones they won were the ones that mattered the most.
And I look at the USC game. Notre Dame shredded USC's run defense. That gives me a little hope. Now, I know I'm biased, but I like Iowa. Notre Dame's a better running team than Iowa. They arguably have the best running back in the country, but that gives me some hope because, Don, looking at that USC game, the formula for Iowa's got to be to go out there, stay ahead of the change, control the tempo, run the ball, and Notre Dame showed they exposed USC's run defense.
Yeah, and I'm happy that more than a few teams now have gone west and played well on the West Coast. Not many have done it, I guess, but we know one very prominent team called Indiana.
Indiana went to Oregon. Yeah.
So that, of course, nothing wrong with our coaches even mentioning, just kind of casually mentioning. Well, I know one thing, it didn't bother Indiana to go west and play.
No.
It's not going to bother us either. And I like what Signetti said, trying to get ready for the Oregon game. Somebody actually flew out a day early even.
Uh-huh.
He said, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. He said, we'll adjust our schedule a little bit because of the travel. But he said, we do what we do. And that's the way, that's a good way to approach it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get on a plane and fly. But it really matters that much whether we're flying 1 hour or 3.
No.
It's not that big a deal. Now, I will admit, if it's an 11 o'clock kick, I'm sorry, the better example for us flying west, if it's a night game against SC, that concerns me because a 7 o'clock kick out there will be a 9 o'clock time in Iowa City.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes for a really long day for our guys if they got to wait for a night game in the Coliseum. I hope it's a day game.
Has the time been set?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me at all if it was a 11 o'clock kick.
Yeah, no, that would. And then I was surprised. I know I'm going all over the place, but we're short of. I was surprised Washington didn't do more against Michigan. I mean, Washington's offense
they didn't look good.
Was
at
the
all.
final score like 24-6?
It was, I think, 24.
Did you watch any of that game, Don?
24-7.
I did see some of it.
24-7.
Now, Wink is a good, as you know.
He is good.
Don Martindale's a good defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But you're right. They've got a young quarterback, and I think, young guys can. I mean, he's a very athletic quarterback, but he might make a mistake here and there, and I think he probably did. Didn't play like he's played in a lot of games, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But Michigan, Michigan is still Michigan. And let me just look here. Yeah, Michigan, Washington, they dominate. There was not a fluke win.
No, they dominate.
Parameters, Washington won a grand total of 3.
Yeah. No, it was impressive for
Michigan,
Michigan.
in the meantime, won 11 of them.
And Michigan was without its best running
Oh.
back. They played that freshman who had over 100 yards rushing.
And he looked
Now,
good,
he was
too.
a 5-star from Ohio. So, yeah, so it's not like he's not heralded or what have you. But, no, I just thought Washington was better, but they're not. There's a lot of
They
teams
weren't
in the
Saturday.
those 5-2 teams, Tom, if you look at them, a lot of them are very similar, could beat each other on a given day.
It's going to start to sort itself out.
It's going to start to sort itself out
sure.
at some point. It will have to because they'll all be playing each other.
Yes, exactly.
So I would.
Washington's the kind of team, as you know, too, that has a really, really good home field advantage.
They do, yeah.
But the problem with that, they're also painfully aware they're not that good on the road.
No.
They had a long night in Kinnick last year, too.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they didn't look
So
very good.
It's happened to them more than a few times. You go on the road and not be able to get it done.
Now, they did win at Maryland, but to me, that's more of a statement about Maryland than Washington.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, too, for this week, you guys, that Minnesota's undefeated at home, and they haven't won a single game on the road.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to pick Iowa to win. That's why I think Iowa will win. But I'm a little worried.
And let me talk about one other game because I'm just thrilled that we weren't playing Oregon last weekend. And I'll tell you why I say that. They get upset by Indiana at home, and they were mad, I believe, when they got to Rutgers.
Yes, they were.
You're aware of the final score.
56-10.
You know the details. You know how many yards of total offense?
Was it like almost 600?
750 yards.
Okay, I must have got their third quarter stats. Okay.
They only snapped the ball 60 times. They averaged 12.5 yards every time they snapped the ball.
Okay, Don, I'm going to
Think
ask
about
you.
that.
I'm going to ask you. It's great. What's going on with Greg Schiano? I thought he was this defensive mastermind.
Well, I said even before we went out there, I said this is an unusual Rutgers team. They're actually better on offense, but they're suspects on defense.
Are they ever?
And that's I think that's still true. Oregon went through them like crap through a goose, you know.
Well, I'm going to go out on the limb and say that Oregon will not get 700 yards offense here at Kinnick.
If they do.
Do you think they get 400, Tom?
Yeah.
Let me give you an example of total domination. Oregon had 15 explosive plays in that game. Rutgers had none.
Wow.
15-0 on explosives.
Wow.
And they won just 20-something. 8 of them were more than 30.
Wow. That's
8 of them were what you think of as home runs.
That's incredible. Now, if I'm a Rutgers fan, I'm not happy at all.
Not at all.
I'm pissed off. I'm like, they're paying Schiano a lot of money, and they're not getting better.
No.
They don't seem to be getting better.
I've always thought he was a very good coach. I don't know where their injuries are. Maybe they've been decimated on defense.
Maybe in hopes of his defense, maybe their injuries are on defense. I don't know.
You know this, Oregon, if Oregon's in a foul mood, Oregon's capable of beating anyone.
That's why Iowa fans should be hoping for bad weather. What is that, November 11th?
Uh-huh.
November the 8th.
Yeah, bad
November
weather.
the 8th.
Don't you think bad weather would help Iowa more than it would help?
I would love to see that.
Yeah. So, but that's down the road.
The only thing that worries me about it just being wet. Oregon's probably more used to playing in the rain than we are.
Well, that's a good
based on
point
their
because
weather.
yeah, you're right. That rains a lot up there. So, but right
If
now,
you want to talk about, I'd go. How about cold and dry? That'd be better probably for us.
okay, yeah, no, you're right about that because a lot of their players are from the West Coast and what have you. But all that matters is what I'm looking forward. This is going to be a fun game Saturday because this is a game. PJ Fleck needs to win this game for his legacy and to lift their program to. This is a game that I think one time he's won. He just has not been able to beat Kirk. And I don't think he will again on Saturday.
You've seen the cute little things you see on the internet where PJ's little infant on Kirk's shoulder.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've seen that. Yeah, no, but Kirk's owned him. I mean, for the most part. So, but I do think they got a really good defense this year. And I think Minnesota's thinking, don't you think they're going to just load the box? I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I would.
And shadow.
I would think, I'll say it this way, we better work hard on defeating man coverage because we might get a ton of man coverage.
Okay.
And of course, the simple thing to do, if you can do it, of course, is, okay, let's talk about man tight even. It's probably going to be man free tight, with the free safety playing deep.
Uh-huh.
One center fielder back there. But it doesn't bother me if he plays deep because that's Coy again, right? Parrish?
Coy Parrish, yeah, number 3.
if he's playing deep, at least he's not very involved in the run game.
That's true.
But anyway, our problem, of course, is we can't just simply line up and run down the field and throw it over them.
No.
Probably.
No.
We can try. Now, one thing that does help us, number 15 gives us a size mismatch.
Yeah.
Even if he's covered, he might win the 50-50 ball even if he is covered. Right? Because he's taller than the
Vanderzee was targeted twice against Penn State, 1 catch for 10 yards.
Yeah. But I do like his chances in any kind of 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And then there was another guy you recall that made a big catch, but he may not be available, and that was Dayton Hudson, right? Thinking back to Rutgers.
Dayton Howard, yeah, Dayton Howard. He looked like after the game I saw him sell.
Yeah, he was getting around pretty good.
He was getting around, so hopefully it was nothing. Kirk didn't say anything, but yeah, they could have to use guys like that. But I fully expect, and when you load the box down, you have to play man-to-man, right? You can't go. And I expect 7 to 8 defenders loading the box saying, okay, Gronowski, you're not going to beat us with your feet. You're not going to beat. You guys are going to have to throw downfield. Don't you think that's going to be Minnesota's strategy? Last question.
Well, probably so. Yeah,
Okay.
probably so. Right now, they know that, let's say it this way, they're going to give us a better grade with our rush offense than our pass offense. That's the argument for loading the box.
Sure.
Make Iowa play left-handed, right?
Yes.
You heard me use that analogy. And no offense to all those left-handed people out there, but you know what we're saying when we mean that, when we say it that way. So what's critical in advancing the game, we've got to have plenty of plays to scare them out of man coverage. I love to tell a story about Miami of Florida years ago when they were a great football team. And you remember the story. I asked the defensive coordinator after they'd beaten us by playing zone all night. And Shannon, I said, what happened to all your man coverage? He said, Don, I'm dumb, but I'm not stupid. He said, you gave us fits 2 years ago when we played in the Orange Bowl. And he said, we weren't going to make that mistake again. And then in passing, he simply said this, you got too many man beaters. I thought that was the ultimate compliment. The defensive coordinator at the University of Miami said, we can't play man against Iowa because they'll make us pay. So, that's where we need to get with our pass offense. We need to be able to scare people out of playing man coverage and load the box.
Well, they ain't.
Well,
now,
no scaring going on.
I don't think we can scare anybody right now.
It's Halloween, but nobody's scared. Well, listen, Don, we have.
And the beauty, it doesn't have to be balls thrown way down the field. It's just engineering the best possible matchup. It'd be almost elusive guy. You'd probably say 21 or maybe 25 versus a guy that's not quite so good at playing man coverage for them.
That's matchups.
Tim knows how to engineer those matchups. I hope we spend time doing it because it's in anticipation of what's coming. Somebody's going to do it to us. I suspect it might be Minnesota.
Okay.
Okay.
Dare us to throw.
All right.
And we better be ready to do it.
Thank you, Coach.
Great stuff as usual. Hopefully, we're talking about a win next Monday.
I'm on your side. I'm confident we're going to find a way to get it done.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach.
You bet. Take care, guys.
Yep. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more.
If you haven't claimed your auction certificates yet, please do so this week. You can do so right now. 319-354-1242. Again, until 4:30 today. Claim your auction certificates, 319-354-1242. Or you can come on out here. You can go through the box. We got a lot of good food left, a lot of services and merchandise. Our auction people are really kind and give us a lot of stuff. So if you want to go through the box, you can do that. If you want to stay at home and go through the box, you can do that on our app or on our website. Just if it doesn't have a sold out when you click on auction, if the item doesn't have a sold out near it, it's up for grabs.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
I'm meteorologist Brandon Bormans. Get used to the wind the next couple of days. It will be sunny and warmer today, but wind gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. Highs in the lower 70s. For tonight, mostly cloudy at first, then gradual clearing, lows in the mid-40s, continued breezy. On Tuesday, mostly sunny, windy, but much cooler. Highs in the mid-50s, wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 42.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
For a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, 13 and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Hertine and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HertineandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams of Deary Brothers Ford talk about what here for you means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as a statement here for you, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit suples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246. When you go to a family restaurant, you want 3 things. 1, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. 2, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And 3, you want to be treated like family. You get all 3 at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location, and no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at midtownfamily.com. The family's waiting for you.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams. Is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential. Develop a strong work ethic and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty, Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Dear U of I, just a note to let you know, if you're ever thinking about selling Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena, please consider Hawkeye Title and Settlement. We're here to provide efficient, high-quality real estate title and closing services. Signed, Hawkeye Fan Forever, and send. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Whether it's a large commercial property or if you're buying your first home, remember, we're here to help. Hawkeye Title and Settlement Services of Iowa City. You'll love our team just like you love the Hawks.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner of Streets Maintenance. As a licensed, insured, and bonded master plumber, I specialize in all plumbing repairs, including but not limited to water heater and sump pumps to toilet and faucet repairs and replacements. As an Iowa City native, I know how frustrating it can be when any part of your plumbing system breaks down. That's why I only use trusted brands and quality materials. I offer same-day, next-day service coupled with a fair price. I also offer general services to mobile homes. For more information about my business, I'm online at streetsmaintenance.com and Facebook, or give me a call at 400-4483, 400-4483.
Streets Maintenance, honest plumbing at a fair price. Hanging lights is a pain. Dealing with blown bulbs, dangerous installations, and the endless rat's nest of cords, there's got to be a better way, and now there is. Illuma Lights, permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuma Lights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course, lighting for the best season, football season. The Illuma Lights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuma Lights LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. No more ladders, no more hooks, no more wifey's dirty looks. That's the song you'll be singing all year long with Illuma Lights permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Find out more at BigDogTek.net or call 319-395-0800.
Football fans, this is Bill Leixenring of the Oxyoke Inn. We are on your way to or from the game. We're ready to serve you with the same quality food and customer service you've come to trust for over 80 years. The Oxyoke Inn is serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, banquets, and carry-out daily. From our Oxyoke family to yours, we can't wait to see you again soon in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyoke Inn.
We bleed black and gold. We're Hawkeyes, the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
I think that's going to happen on both ends.
Yeah.
Back.
I think both quarterbacks are going to be.
We're back?
We're back. Take it away.
Thanks again to Don. Great stuff as usual. And I know some people will probably blame me for interrupting him. We have to do that because we have certain things we want to discuss, and we're on time. Time schedule, and it's not as easy when he's not in here. Remember, I used to love it when he'd come in.
Oh, it's much easier when he's in.
And I'm not interrupting him to be a dick or anything.
No,
it's
and this stuff is first of all, the phones are digital, and
Yes.
there's a lapse.
But no, we love doing this. It was better when he did it in here, but that was a long time ago, and it's still fun to do over the phone. I hadn't really thought about when he was talking about the wind and when to defer. that's the beauty of having Don on, is when I hadn't even thought about stuff like that. There's so much thought that goes into and I think it's funny that whatever a coach does, there's always someone smarter on social media saying, what the hell?
Everybody, I made the mistake, and I only made it once this Saturday, of looking at Facebook, and when he went for that field goal, get rid of him on all this crap, and then
I'm going to look and
they
see.
didn't say anything when the team won.
But had he made that 66-yarder, they would have been the first.
He would have been a hero.
Yeah, that's just I call it selective prosecution. If it fits their agenda and they have hindsight, you can't compete against hindsight.
No.
I'm just
people that are the instant reactions during games are toxic. And they're stupid.
I opened it up, I looked at it, and I go, Jesus Christ. And like 3 right in a row, fire him. And
that's just
screw it. And
I like
put
this
the
one.
phone away.
Kirk now being ripped for not taking a knee or trying a Hail Mary. Hindsight is a powerful weapon. Some guy saving the United States and hunting deer told me to F off. That was his response.
What is that?
He's some guy on Twitter. He's Herky with 8 numbers. That's his Twitter account. And his first thing he's got pinned is, research shows cattle don't contribute as much to climate change. That's a story that he's had pinned on his Twitter thing since 2023. And I mean, this is, but that's, let's see. As Iowa fans, I think we would like Kirk to take a few more chances, like going for it on 4th and 1 or short, but being reckless and trying a 66-yard field goal is going too far.
And that's, when he tries something that people have been urging him to try, and it doesn't work, screw it.
Here went Pat. The practice kick was 10 yards short, buddy. It's not rocket science. It's just an observation. He let up on the practice kick because the whistle was blown.
He did.
Buddy. Okay.
Hey, buddy.
66 yards. Let's see. 66-yard field goal isn't the aggressiveness everyone is asking for, you effing dunce. There's another one. Let's see. Woods had to have suggested it. That's not Kirk's style, jerk. There's another one. Let's see. I won't read the nice ones. Let's see. I would add his decision to take the ball to begin the game was questionable as well. Short on D against a starting QB, his first game in the row, shaking my head. There's a guy just...
Well, shake your head and I hope it falls off.
Let's see. Won't be the last points they give up in the third quarter tonight either. Momentum crusher, as observed in quarter 3. But I never heard back from that guy in quarter 4.
No.
Let's see. I don't think he will. I think he wanted Stevens to break Nick's record with the longest field goal. It was all emotional. Here's the one. Who cares? They suck. That was one from some guy from Missouri Valley, Iowa, and he's got a tiger hawk. It's probably, who knows what it. But that's what you get though when stuff like this happens. How about this one? Too effing cute and stupid. Hope Beth is watching. No, I'm guessing Beth wasn't watching Saturday's game.
No,
she was probably at Walmart shopping, catching the deals at Walmart. That was, too effing cute and stupid. Let's see. I was a bit nervous about it, but all for it. I didn't think the line would fail there. Good point. The line did fail, in fairness.
I was talking to AJ Epinesa after the game, and I said, hey, that kid, the kid for Penn State, just made a great play.
He did.
He did.
How about, this one's funny. Hindsight, people were calling him an idiot long before this. That's mean and funny. Let's see. There's levels to risk. In a game like this, that call was absolutely stupid, inexcusable, unacceptable.
Okay, what you going to do, friend?
Yeah, I get it, and I agree, but a 65-yard plus field goal after we was well short, that's a really bad decision. They keep going back to the practice kick. He let up. He didn't try. Once he heard the whistle, he didn't. Okay, and here's another one. He literally saw the kid practice kick fail 10 yards. There was zero upside to try it a second time. Horrendous decision. And let's see. Couldn't know the offensive line was going to collapse. That might be one of the dumbest coaching decisions I've ever seen. Inexcusable. That's another one. Kirk just gave Penn State 7 free points on just his stupidity alone. That's another one. What do you mean, hindsight? That was inexplicably stupid, you moron.
I'm at Hy-Vee and this Saturday, and I don't know when your comment about Peacock was. You told him to go to hell.
F off. Told him to F off.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm at Hy-Vee, and this guy comes up to me, and, that was uncalled for, and Peacock, I'm not going to spend money to watch. And I looked at him, he's holding a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, you just paid $8 for that stinking cup of coffee, and you're bitching about paying $10 for Peacock.
And you could have had Peacock to watch the game for the same money.
Every single person watching this game saw that guy kick the first attempt, and it was 10 yards short. He absolutely should be ripped for that decision, including by you. This guy was calling me a coward. He's the guy who says Ferentz has me in his right pocket. So is that why his son-in-law blocks me on Twitter? Because I'm such a homer? I mean, let's see. Let's see if there's any other good ones. Let's see. Yeah, mark it off through line is plowing away. Wear them down. Okay. Let's see. Okay, but that's just why is this game on Peacock? Not going to pay to watch Iowa, even though I am in Iowa. Okay, that's fine. But
that's your choice.
What can I do to help that?
That's your choice.
Well, then I got the you guys always defend Ferentz.
No, we don't.
He's a Republican. What am I?
What's that got to do with
it? What's that got to do
with anything? Can't we agree if I always defended Kirk, his son-in-law, Tyler Barnes, wouldn't block me on Twitter?
Yes, I think that's
fair to say.
We all, listen, when we have a bad game or something, we all say, that was a bad game and you should have done this or that because this is opinion. I don't know. I don't think we rip Ferentz. But
I don't rip. When Brian was just failing miserably, I addressed that. You have to. Yeah. The racial stuff that came out, you can't ignore it.
But there's a difference between that and ripping.
No, I wrote a column after the game the other night. I wrote a column my column basically was, this is why Kirk can't let this go. Nothing better for Kirk than to be able to go into that locker room after that game and celebrate with a group of young men who work together for a common. They got it done. Yeah. There's no media there. That's what he lives for. I still think, though, and I still think this might be his last year. And I'm not saying he should be gone. Blah blah. That's my. People ask me all the time now. I used to be the 1 to 3 guy. I'm thinking this is going to be it, and I think it could change. If this team falls apart, maybe I might say, I don't see him wanting to go out after a 7-6 season. I don't think this team's going to fall apart. I think this team's going to win.
I don't either.
I think this team, but I also don't think this team's going to make the playoff either.
No.
And but if they go, I just think this might be. That's just my gut feeling. I have nothing, and it could change in a week. I get asked that question so much now, though. That's what I'm saying right now. And somebody said, well, he's extra. He got emotional talking about the field goal and how the players bailed him out. He did start crying, but he's been crying a lot since he's been the head coach. But some people are reading, he's been extra emotional in a lot of different things, even behind the scenes, and I would not know that. And they're like, that's why they're thinking this might be it, just because he's been extra emotional. I don't know.
As you get older,
he's 70. It's easy to say this might be his last year.
Okay, but as you get older, you do get more emotional.
I get less emotional.
I get more emotional.
I guess I didn't. I
just can't.
I don't. I never heard that theory. Is that just you pulling stuff out of your?
That's Whitney Houston. No, I'm just going by me. Yeah,
okay.
And
I haven't changed.
Get more emotional. Most people get more emotional as they get older.
I was more emotional. I was way more emotional as a 9-month-old baby than I am now. So your theory,
but you're a punk. You're a kid.
Your theory sucks.
Yeah,
your theory doesn't work.
Wait till you get to be my age.
Another 15 years?
Yeah, and I passed.
Hopefully, I make it that far.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to make it that
Well,
far?
I said hopefully I make it that far.
Oh,
That's
I
what I'm
thought
saying.
you said hope you...
No, but like I said, I feel like a young when I'm with you, Don, and Suter. I'm the young chicken in this. You guys
You're
are all in
the
your
pup.
70s.
You're
You
a
guys-
pup.
Don's even in his 70s.
Yeah.
I'm the young pup. I'm bringing this show to the younger audience. There you go. Yeah, I'm bringing it to the younger audience who to me, I'm a fossil.
He's going home and listen to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no, I ain't doing that.
Hello.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Good.
Hey, I didn't get to listen to the beginning of the show when you were talking with Coach, so I don't know if you covered this, but I think the job that Coach did coming out of halftime was a big deal because after reading about what he said, that team could have just given up on the game after that last play, the blocked field goal and the touchdown. They could have just came out and been flat and had no life, but that's not the team that we saw in the second half, and I don't think there's enough credit being given right now to Coach because whatever he said to him, whatever words he used at halftime, he didn't let them get down over that blocked field goal, and they came out and played one hell of a game in the second half.
Well, I suppose, except for the opening drive where Penn State marched straight down the field and scored a touchdown. But other than that, I agree with you.
Okay. All right. I wasn't trying to count on that part. But
No, I will say,
we
no,
were
I
still
so-
able to come back from it.
I sort of
We
agree with you,
11.
but why would a team give up at halftime because they're down in a big
Because of a
huge game?
blocked field goal. They wouldn't.
Why would they give up at halftime? That's all I'm asking.
Well, I'm not saying that they would give up, Pat. I'm
But that's
just
what you
saying
said.
that you can come out and be flat and just be
But
done.
why, though?
You
I
know,
mean-
just kind of give up on the whole thing, and they didn't do that.
Okay, I didn't
They
expect them to do that. I
in the
wouldn't.
second half and came back.
Okay, I just did not expect. I wasn't thinking it. I was thinking, well, they're down by point, but I wasn't thinking anything about. Oh my God, we're crushed. We can't come back. I have more faith in just the team itself. You pick yourself back up. That's part of playing sports. There was a whole other half left.
Yeah.
And they did. But
No, you just get tired of the negativity all the time against Coach. I just do. I'm tired of it.
Well, there's a lot of
The
positive.
man does a good job, and maybe sometimes he deserves it, but the man came out and fell on his sword over the whole kick and the field goal thing.
No, I'm with
Took
you.
100% responsibility.
Trust me,
and
though,
I
there's
thought that was
there's a lot of support for Kirk too. There's a lot of people that think Kirk can do no wrong, and you hear from them too. I'm just in the middle. Nobody can do no wrong. I mean, but no, I thought it was impressive. I think Kirk's doing an impressive job of coaching this year. They're 5-2. Both teams they lost to are real good. Well, I don't know if Iowa State's real good anymore, but they're still good. So yeah, no, there's a lot to be optimistic about.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I like the win. I don't know if
for
it's,
sure.
I mean, we were talking about it that this team, Penn State, is really talented, except for at the quarterback position, and the only reason they're not there is because they lost their starter. But, I mean, there's still a lot of talent on that team, and we beat a good football team on Saturday. That's a damn good team.
It looks kind of like Penn State's sort of forgotten how to win. They've lost, in the last 2 weeks, they've lost 2 one-point decisions. UCLA...
They can't throw downfield.
No,
guys.
they can't.
They have no passing attack.
Sounds
and
familiar?
they weren't doing very well downfield with Aller. They weren't.
No.
I thought they'd have better wide receivers. They
don't.
They didn't.
I thought we would have better
What
wide
do you
receivers,
think, Pat,
too.
as far as talent level, if you were comparing just straight talent level, not the actual play on the field?
Well, overall, you'd probably
how
have
would they
more
compared to like Oregon.
You probably have more 4 or 5 stars guys on Penn State roster, but I would say Iowa's starting 5 on the offensive line are better than Penn State's starting 5. Has nothing to do with the 4-star maybe who's waiting to play at Penn State. The 5 Iowa guys playing right now are better than Penn State's 5 defensive linemen and offense. I think Iowa had the better linemen. Now, Kayton Allen, you could say, was probably the best running back out there.
Would agree.
Yeah, but Penn State, the receivers, they kind of all canceled each other out. Penn State was not as good at the skill positions as I thought they were heading into the season.
Oh, that's cool. Well, anyway, I just wanted to call and give my 5 cents for whatever that's worth. I'm on my way to California, so
Safe travels.
I'm gonna
where
go
are
out and
you?
Try to find the Captain's Park again.
So
there.
where are you now?
I'm in western South Dakota. I picked up a load out of Mankato, Minnesota, and I'm heading out to western South Dakota, then down through Wyoming, down through Vegas, and to Los Angeles.
Well, safe travels.
All right. Yeah, take care, Jerry.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I'll keep you guys on the radio.
All right.
So
Thank
thanks
you.
very much, and you guys have a great day, and go Hawks.
All right.
We appreciate the call.
It's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
It is. And western South Dakota is
go visit my park.
A bit of a challenge.
Stephen Sobroff Park.
You got a park in
Los
western South
Angeles.
Dakota? Oh, in Los Angeles?
Los
Is
Angeles.
it Topanga Park where Blind Al Wilson died?
I don't think
He
so.
died in a garden in Topanga Park.
Yeah.
You still haven't recovered from that, have you? The death of Blind Al Wilson in 1970? I know Hunter still struggles with it.
I can't get over it. Hello.
Good morning, gentlemen. It's John Ballmer.
Hi, John.
I want to weigh in on your talking about emotions here. I'm going to be 77 on Wednesday. I know exactly what you're saying, Steve. It's Pat, you will get emotional as you get older. That's
God, another guy in his 70s. I feel younger every day coming in here.
Well, we kind of tip the balance here a little bit.
A little bit.
That's I don't use social media at all, and I'm glad I don't because the coarseness of the debate in this country has gotten way off the rails.
Yes.
And
no, without question.
It really bothers me to see the way people talk about each other and to each other. And a lot of them don't talk to each other; they just
hide behind a keyboard.
Yep.
Make those ridiculous comments. But great win for Iowa.
It sure was.
No matter what way you slice it, that's a big victory, and we'll take care of the Gophers this weekend.
I think we will too.
Nothing's easy, as we all know. But no, I just wanted to weigh in there, gentlemen. Enjoy your comments. Enjoy the comments.
Hi, John.
Yeah, Tyler Barnes is coming to quarterback club today, so I always find him very interesting. I think he's a pretty knowledgeable guy, to tell you the truth.
Oh, he might be. I just says he blocks me on Twitter.
He does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he didn't like the way I handled the disbandment of the advisory council. Remember they had the black advisory. David Porter. Yeah, it was a bad situation. But I wrote what I felt, and I was offended. I think he blocked me more as Kirk's son-in-law than he did as the Iowa.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't care. I never followed him on Twitter. I don't care. So these people that say that Kirk has me in his back pocket, I just bring that out there. Apparently he doesn't because his son-in-law, who's on the staff, blocks me on Twitter, which is fine. I don't care. I really don't care.
So you can ask him today about that.
No, you don't have to ask him because, John, I don't care.
No, I don't think I'll go that route.
Okay. Just checking.
I'll say, hey, by the way, Pat, or by the way, Tyler, there's a sports reporter that's just
It ain't just me. He blocks more than just me. He blocked anyone that day who wrote something that wasn't just pro Kirk. It was an unfortunate situation. I wrote what I felt, and I remember it was over to David Porter. David Porter made some remarks, and David and I are good friends. Yeah. I wrote that I thought David went over the line. I thought his stuff was to say that Kirk should be fired wasn't fair. Sure. It just was not fair. But I also thought that the way they disbanded it wasn't a good look either. That's all I wrote, but that was it, and I was blocked.
Yeah. No, I understand. Well, they should. They don't remember. He doesn't remember Ron Malley. Ron Malley was.
Oh God! I mean, John, the times are so different now. I mean, Ron Malley, Buck Turnbull, Mark Hansen. That's back when I was a 20 and 30-year-old reporter. I mean, it is so different now. Now there's branding and just fanboys. It's just a completely different atmosphere now. And I think that's the way it's going to be just moving forward. That's one time I'm glad I am in my 60s as opposed to my 40s. There's just way too many fanboys in the media now, everywhere.
Yeah.
That's just the new look. Look at me. I'm a media personality. Look, but I'm tweeting and I'm just bringing it. Follow me. Feed me. That's just how it is these days.
Believe it or not,
I hear you.
Believe it or not, John, there's some people that don't care for me.
Really?
Yeah,
I
well.
can't believe that, Steve.
Me neither.
Donald Trump speaks highly of you. I've never seen him get emotional, except in the other way.
Yeah.
We won't talk about it.
There you go.
Have a great day, gentlemen.
All right, John.
Thank you, John.
God, it's already 10:40. This morning is just blown by. What do you have? You don't have Lang on Mondays, do you?
No.
So you can't do cops without Lang.
No cops.
No cops.
No cops on Mondays?
No cops.
So all the criminals breathe a sigh of relief for 24 hours, right?
Well, we cover them in news.
Yeah, but you're not mocking them and making fun of them and kicking them when they're down.
Sometimes.
That's waiting when Lang gets in here. That's when you kick them.
No, I could kick
There's a
the
call
window.
right there.
Yeah.
Could be a good call.
Could be.
This could be or bring the show to a screeching halt.
Hello.
I could bring it to a screeching halt. I was thinking the older I get, the more unemotional I get because I get so disgusted with some of this stuff.
Well, there's one for Pat then.
There you go. She defended me the other day too.
With in the stands that were yelling and talking about how stupid that was, and I said, "Oh, just shut up and wait till the end of the game."
Good for you.
A lot of second guessers, and I've questioned stuff Kirk has done before.
Was there lightning in the area?
I saw lightning twice, but you sit on the east side or the west side? You wouldn't have seen it.
No,
it was
we
off.
didn't.
It was off.
I was on the east side, but I could hear things in my radio.
Yeah.
And I kept telling people, I think there's lightning.
There
and
was
they said, no, our phone shows no lightning.
I saw lightning.
There was lightning, but it was past us.
This was way east and south.
Yeah.
From where I was sitting in the press box.
How close does it have to be?
8.6 miles.
It has,
Because I know then they stop it for half an hour.
My
sister said they stop it for half an hour, not sitting around till
I was
1:35.
dreading the thought of that.
That lightning was at least 15 miles away.
Yeah, because you never saw. I kept looking to see if the officials were, but they never looked like they were concerned about it. So luckily they made it through the game because that would
then
not
I
have been
did
fun.
hear it in my radio.
Oh yeah, no, there was definitely lightning in the area.
What are you listening to on your radio?
I always bring my radio and I listen to Dolph and
Do you
Pat.
okay,
Maybe she had
there's-
Riders on the Storm on.
There's
by the
an
doors.
there's they have a little FM transmitter there. You can listen to them without delay on FM.
Well, yeah, I know, because you get a delay. Now, KXIC never had a delay before, but now they have a delay, and that's kind of obnoxious.
Well,
so why do they have the delay?
Just to get on people's nerves.
Because they
just want to make people
wanna
angry.
Screw with
They
you.
just want to
wanna
screw
make
with you.
people mad?
But it's a computer. There's not a KXIC hasn't had a human being in there in years, have they?
No.
Captain?
No, but before they were right on the schedule. This is the first time that they're with the delay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
you should listen to there's a little FM transmitter at Kinnick, and they put the frequency on the scoreboard, and if you listen to that, you won't get a delay.
Yeah, but I missed that. Do you know what it is?
Yeah,
No,
I think it's 103.7.
Okay, well, I'll try that.
All right.
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
All right. Wow, Wisconsin comes out in support of Luke Fickell, wants to invest more in the program. AD Chris McIntosh. On Saturday at Camp Randall, I was honored to join my former Rose Bowl champion teammates and coaches on the field as the university community celebrated our collective successes. My years as a student athlete at Wisconsin were among the best of my life. I love my blah, blah, blah. It was with those experiences along with my okay, where are we going with this? You guys don't we embrace them and accept the responsibility of meeting those goals. While our coaches, staff, and student athletes continue to demonstrate the work ethic and values that represent UW football, the roads simply are not where any of us want them to be. Coach Fickell sees the potential in what this team can be, as do I, really. And he shares the same disappointment and frustration. Our student athletes continue to stand and fight with character and pride as they battle through this moment of adversity, and they deserve all of our support. While we still have a lot of football to play this season with the support and significant involvement of Chancellor Mookin, athletics is committed to elevating the investment into our football program to position us to compete at the highest. Okay, so basically what they're saying is we're not going to get rid of this guy because we haven't been funding him right NIL-wise, but I don't think they're going to be able to fund NIL until they get rid of this guy. So are they going to catch 22?
It sounds like it.
Wisconsin football and Wisconsin athletics are important to our campus, to our community, to our entire state, and to all of our loyal fans and alumni. They matter deeply to Chancellor Mookin, who has been a strong partner since her arrival in Madison, and they matter to me. I bleed red and white, and I will not rest in the pursuit of our goals. Fielding championship caliber teams and delivering the pride and joy of success to a new generation of Badgers. You have my unrelenting commitment to do what is necessary to make that happen. Thank you for your dedication, loyalty, and passion on Wisconsin. And if I'm an Iowa fan, I'm saying, yay, but I still say he's not their head coach next year.
No,
I think this is all just buying time. That's buying time till December 1st.
Yeah, that's saying goodbye. Hello?
Yes.
Man, I hope I can inspire so much contempt from Pat with my call. I had a question.
Who did I
Coming
Who did I show
into the
contempt
year,
to?
one of our most inexperienced units was the linebacker unit. I was wondering if you could comment, maybe like as a mid-season grade, how they are doing overall.
I'd just give them a C.
I don't probably watch the game with as analytical or discerning eye.
I'd give them a C. I mean, they're obviously not Nick Jackson, and you can see that from Jay.
They're average.
They're average right now. I don't think they've been a weekness or a liability. I think they're okay.
Compared to what we've had.
But compared to what we've had, there's been a decline, but I think we expected that. But I think Jaden Montgomery, man, he's a tough kid because he is only about 5'11", 6 feet tall, but he's a good tackler. I think they've been okay. They can be better. I'm just curious, though, who did I show contempt for? Which caller?
Well, I did. It just when you were reading, maybe contempt isn't the right word, but when you were reading that, you sounded very impassioned.
Well, I was kind of mocking Wisconsin because I think they're a train wreck, and I think this is just PR to buy time. Do you guys agree with me?
Yeah.
Yes,
what would your fans up in Madison, what will they say to that? Your friends, I should say.
Well, they're saying that McIntosh has got to go first.
Okay. Thanks, caller. I appreciate the call.
They want McIntosh gone.
Okay.
And a lot of them want Jim Leonard to come back, and Leonard will not coach as long as McIntosh is
because McIntosh didn't hire him.
But
okay,
they don't get along.
Interesting.
Yes, but yes.
Okay, so but no, as far as that's an interesting question though about the linebackers. They've been okay. I mean, Carson Shaw, I thought had some moments. He had 2.5 tackles for loss the other night. I thought Jaden Harrell was playing okay before he got hurt. But yeah, the bar has been so high. Jack Campbell, Seth Benson, Jay Higgins, Nick Jackson. They have set such a high bar that you kind of had to prepare for a little drop-off. But it hasn't, I wouldn't say, hasn't been a shattering drop-off. I don't think the linebackers are costing them games or whatever. No, I think they've been okay. Got another call?
No.
I thought I heard the phone ringing.
It's auction.
Guy said I showed contempt.
Contempt.
I don't show contempt for much. Now, bad music I do, but you guys just always put me in my place and say it's just the way the world is. I have no.
It's the world we live in, Pat.
I have no fangs in this. Yeah. I've got nothing to bite, man.
Nothing.
It's your world, and I just have
show contempt. Contempt.
Okay, and
I've taken contempt for 17 years.
Answer me this one. Now we're losing Rockford Files to Quantum Leap.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Can you help me there? Please tell me you did not watch Quantum Leap.
I saw a few episodes. That's a time travel thing, right?
I don't know. It's with
See, I like time travel a
jumps
lot.
into other lives.
Okay, here's one for you. Highway to Heaven or Quantum Leap? Which one are you going to watch?
Well, I'm going to take a pistol to myself.
Well, again, I like time travel stuff.
So you're going to not kill yourself?
I rather enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah, but I don't know. Something of it didn't work for
But all I see now on the time thing is a bunch of Quantum Leaps, and I'm not happy.
Well, maybe they're going to put it at a different time.
I'm just not happy, Ken.
Rockford's still going to be there.
I know, but I'm just not happy. He shouldn't have to be competing with Quantum Leap. Who's the guy who stars in Quantum Leap?
Scott Bakula.
That's right. Wasn't that big in like the 90s?
Yeah, but then they brought it back.
Okay. Hey, well, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Time travel.
And then it was a black guy jumping into like white people.
Okay. But no, this Wisconsin thing, to me, this is buying time.
Yeah, and it's a guy trying to hang on to his job.
He's trying to put a little buffer out there for him and for Fickle, but you're going to see some remaining games at Camp Randall. I think that stadium's going to be, I don't know, about half empty, but at some point, I mean, I can only imagine what Badger fans are. They're to be shut out, to lose to Ohio State 34-0, but to lose to Iowa 37, that's just unacceptable.
Well, they don't like that. And after the jump around when we were there, that entire student section left.
That's embarrassing.
Some of the big donors left, and half of the stands that we could see across from us were empty.
See, to me, this would almost make a big donor be more resentful, wouldn't you? I'm not giving you money until you make a change. Wouldn't you say that's what most of the big donors are probably saying?
I would have to think so, or they're not paying attention.
And I mean, how well do you think your friends in Madison speak for the Wisconsin thing? Do you think they're pretty representative?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I would, absolutely.
And that, to me, I'm guessing more people feel that way. It's just, he's in year 3, and they are just getting worse.
Well, just wait till Saturday.
Yeah, who do they play Saturday?
At Oregon.
Because Oregon knows now with a loss, they got to beat people down. Because they got to keep. They got style points. I mean, and Oregon's thinking, we can only afford one more loss, and it'll be interesting. And I'm telling you, I don't think that Iowa Oregon game, if Oregon does win, I don't think it's going to come easy. I think Iowa's going to play a spirited.
I do
Right
too.
now, I'm picking Oregon to win. I just think they have too much of everything. But I do think they're going to have to work their asses off for that game.
I agree.
I'm with you. Now, to me, I still think USC is the one that I just think that's going to be not a fun game. I don't know if they can come out there and run the ball like Notre Dame did at home, but Iowa's not Notre Dame. And if it was here, I would probably pick Iowa to win if it was here.
Hello.
But
Probably.
out there is
I
just
would too.
different. And you and Ann aren't going either, are you?
No. But in Wisconsin, the Hy-Vees have a promotion where whatever Wisconsin scores, you save on Fuel Saver the next day or on Monday.
Yes.
That's
and
easy.
They
They don't
shut out 2 weeks in a row.
They don't
Yes, correct.
That's just kicking. They don't score, so they're just pimping the fans. That's funny.
Yeah,
they're going to score again at some point. They may not score against Oregon.
They might not.
Can you imagine going 3 games in a row without scoring?
Hello.
Hey, Steve?
Hello.
Oh, hey, Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, listen, I tried to call. I wasn't ringing through. Listen, I'm a little bit late, Pat. We were listening to the show while my wife was in the shower, and I didn't get a chance to call. I started listening to you guys a few years ago. I remember the first time I called, you and Tom both made fun of me because I said, I hate sports. I don't care about sports. But I listened to your show, and you made fun of me and laughed at me, and that's okay. But I listen to you because you guys are not biased. I don't hear you guys kissing anybody's butt. You just give me the straight stuff, and you're funny. How do people come up with that crap? Are they even listening to the show? I don't understand it. I don't ever hear you guys say anything.
I mean, Tom, you're a homer, wouldn't you say?
No, not really.
Well, I would say you're a homer.
I don't.
I'm
think
not
I
saying
am.
that as an insult. I mean,
Well, no. Tom grew up with it. I say you guys are. You can see somebody, but you never. You're not afraid to criticize them.
Not at all.
No, not.
Anything mean spirited. I have coffee with a couple of folks who are spirit, and I'll go in and after a game they'll say, "Oh God, what?" And they're not mean either.
No, you got to keep it respectful. You can criticize and keep it respectful.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just can't understand that level of, I guess, stupidity that people listen to the show and then they come up with a totally different thing than you've put out.
We appreciate you listening.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I like, my wife has to listen because that's what we're listening to. She can't reach the radio.
There you go.
The show.
Thanks
and
to your
you
wife,
guys
too.
have made her laugh quite a few times. So
And she's always in the shower when you call, Lance.
She is always in the shower
Well,
when you call.
Well, she gets up. She gets up. She has breakfast, and then we get in the shower about 10. So most of the time.
Now wait a second, Lance.
Hey,
Lance just said we get in the shower.
What's going on over there?
Yeah.
I used to when she was still able to stand and she was unsteady. Catherine's going through this stuff. Now I just get her in the wheelchair. But I'm kind of in the shower because I'm doing all the cleaning.
Okay. Will you tell your wife we said hello and we appreciate her listening?
Yes, we do.
And you too.
Tell her to hang in
she
there.
Wants to. No, she enjoys listening to you.
Okay.
So, Lance,
I'll say that.
Do you like sports better now than you did 2 years ago, or about the same?
I just don't pay. I mean, I watch women's basketball on occasion. But we used to go to the women's games. We went to the women's games for 2 years, almost all the games. We just went over and parked, and it was a lot of fun in the late '80s.
For sure.
And we had a child, and that kind of dropped. And we had basketball team. And I used to watch the men's games when Dr. Tom was here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just kind of lost interest.
Hey,
I'm hoping maybe I'll get back and listen. I listen.
Okay. But
I may listen.
to each his own.
Coach.
Yeah. To each his own.
I didn't grow up with football. Football was.
I'm not near as much of a sports.
Wasn't a big deal when I was a kid.
I'm not near as much as a sports fan as I was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Neither am I.
Not near as much.
Well, who is? Yeah. But anyway,
I am.
I am. What are they listening to that they're mad at you for being biased?
I think a lot of people say stuff without even listening. They just say stuff. And
that
guy,
in
fairness to that gentleman,
why are you listening to the show if you hate it so much?
he said the word contempt, but then he came back and said he didn't. I think he didn't. That guy was fine. He was just.
Yeah, he was.
He was fine. I was just kind of curious to know who I'd shown contempt for.
My music.
Your music. We do that every day.
Music. Yes, I know. 17 years every day.
You got no kings, and I lead a thing,
I
no
don't care
music.
if people like what I like. I couldn't care less.
Yeah. We just pimp each other. They know I have better music taste, and they just can't accept it. So we just learn to we make it work.
One quick thing about music, real fast. My son showed this to me. there's a guy called Track Star in New York. He interviews celebrities on the street.
Yeah.
And plays music and gets their take. John Batiste, I was watching, David Lynch, Jimmy Fallon, and he plays tunes, and they have to say, that's this on that. It's really entertaining, but I don't know. It's just too much. But it's worth taking a look at.
Okay. All right, well, appreciate your call.
Maybe David Lynch. Okay, thanks.
All right,
thanks.
Yeah. I see him a lot at Hy-Vee shopping.
Yeah.
We shop so sometimes, and I'll see him.
I went to his house once.
Very nice gentleman.
Yeah, I pissed him off. Well, he pissed me off once, and then I pissed him off, and
so you both showed,
and then I felt bad, and
you
I
both
went
showed
to his
contempt for
house.
each other.
I went to his house, and I said, "I'm sorry."
What would you have done if he opened the door and just smashed you in the face?
I would have beat the hell out of him.
But no, that Wisconsin thing, that is interesting. I mean, if I was up there and I was a columnist, you know, if I owned like Badger Fanatic or something like, or worked at a newspaper like I used to, I would be writing a column right now saying, this is a bunch of BS. You're just buying time. There's no way this is going to work. There's no way you're going to say to people, no, we're not making a change. We just need your money. We need more money for it. That's basically what they're saying, right?
Yes. Yeah.
They're basically saying, hey, fans, we can't fix this, so you need to fix this by giving us more money. And that, to me, is lame, and that's just not a winning strategy. And I'm with you. I think McIntosh will go as soon as, or maybe before the coach.
Well, I think
if they bring them back next year, I just think that's a recipe for disaster. But as an Iowa fan, I'd want that.
I do. But what if they do bring him back and he goes 12-0?
I don't see it. I don't
wins
think,
the Big Ten.
I don't think it's physically possible. I just don't. I don't see any way that could happen. But what if they get rid of him and Saban takes over Wisconsin? They're 15-0 next year. But no, Saban's wife said he's having too much fun doing commercials. He's all over the place. He does those stupid commercials with Dion and Affleck.
Yeah,
I don't like those. People
I like
the bed and breakfast ones.
The bed and breakfast one's great.
I just think the Affleck ones are just
I like
stupid.
The Affleck.
I've never liked them.
I'm with you, Pat.
Stupid.
You're all both wrong.
Yeah, we're wrong. We're wrong.
Obviously.
You know, I mean, Led Zeppelin and
contempt. Showing contempt.
How could I have the nerve to like Led Zeppelin? What the hell am I thinking? What did they ever do?
Jeez, well,
what did they ever do?
Well, they haven't done it for like 50 years. So.
Okay, but you play music. You still play Steely Dan if it's a song you like that fits into your agenda.
No, Steely Dan was big in the 80s.
Steely Dan was never bigger than Led Zeppelin. I love.
No,
Steely
I'm
Dan.
not saying it. I'm saying they had hits in the 80s.
Yeah, not
Zeppelin
many.
did not.
They had Gaucho. Gaucho came out in 1981. All that other stuff was in the 70s. Can't Buy a Thrill came out in 1972.
They were still being played.
I hear Led Zeppelin was being played all the time in the 80s.
No, just by a bunch of drug users.
Yeah, see? I do think it's funny that I have to go to a radio station and defend bands like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd.
Not everybody likes Led Zeppelin, in all fairness.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of my wife.
I like Led Zeppelin.
Your wife does not like Led Zeppelin?
Not particularly.
Yeah. Okay. No, to each his own. But you guys can't
shouldn't hate them,
but you guys.
What about the ripcord?
No,
do you like the ripcord?
Is that Little Cobra?
Not liking Led Zeppelin is something that you guys. That's just fine. But you guys seem like me not liking Taylor. How can you not like Taylor Swift?
It's not.
It's no different.
We don't do anything. I don't do by likes or anything. If the damn thing was played extensively in the 80s on top 40 stations.
Well, Stairway to Heaven was played too much in the 80s. They ruined it.
Okay, but not in top 40 stations.
Well, I don't know. It was on what's the station in Des Moines that used to be KGJ?
Yeah, GGO is not a top 40.
But, God, it was the station that everybody I grew up with listened to. Nobody listened to any of the other stuff.
Yeah. But
KGGO, I think that was KGGO.
KIOA was also a massive station, and
I listened to KIOA.
I listened to KGGO because they had the. That's where you could listen to bands like Neil Young and
that's. So. But we're not that kind of station.
I mean,
we're top 40. The classic rock stations now here, very seriously. And, they're poorly run. I'll give them that.
But I don't go on to the radio station to listen to music. I have my own music.
A lot of people do,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, luckily I don't. I listen to my music at home. I supply my own music.
Yeah.
If I'm listening to you guys and it's you guys talk, if you put a song on that I like, I'll listen. But there's times where I'll have your station on, and so I'm like, God, and I turn it off. I mean, that's just, and then I'll turn it on hopefully after the song's over.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
just that's selective listening.
Yes. We are a top 40 station, and we play stuff out of the 70s that was
Still popular in the 80s.
On top 40 stations.
Mm-hmm.
With a rock emphasis. See, we don't play some of the stuff like Albert Hammond and stuff like that. We don't play that because it's not rock oriented.
What is Albert Hammond?
What the hell is Albert
It
Hammond?
never rains in Southern California.
Oh, good God.
Okay, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that
Yes,
that we don't play.
So we're talking about Led Zeppelin, and you shift over to Albert Hammond? My God.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of top 40 stuff we don't
I do
play.
have a buddy of mine from college, though, that just thinks it's hilarious that I work for a radio station where I get made fun of for liking Led Zeppelin and the kind of music.
Well, you get made fun of for other
and
things.
that is top 40. He just thinks it's because he said I was a big music snob in college, and I used to hate top 40 in college, and he finds great satisfaction that I get it rammed down my throat.
But see, the classic rock stations now are not delivering.
Well, that's because
the
guys like me
audience.
I don't need a classic rock station to play my music. I don't. I'll just play it myself.
Well, you're killing the format.
Well, that's then.
You're killing the format.
So be it, Pat says.
But who would you say was more popular, Led Zeppelin or Steely Dan, at their zenith?
That's real hard.
It's Led Zeppelin.
I don't know.
I love Steely Dan.
Probably, Pat.
I think it's Led Zeppelin.
I think probably Led Zeppelin, but
the difference is Steely Dan's been around for 40 years. Led Zeppelin was around for 10.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin did the Stones have been around for 60. Led Zeppelin and the Beatles.
It's hard for me to listen. I played that stuff for over 20 years.
I know Led Zeppelin and the Beatles did their stuff in a decade.
Yeah.
That's to me part of what is the.
Yeah, and I played that stuff, and I
mean, Beatles less than a decade, wasn't it?
I mean, that's not why we picked this.
Yeah.
We picked this format in 1994.
Oh, I know. We've been. I get you. I know, but. The Beatles was less than a decade, wasn't it?
Well, it depends when you take them from. They were playing in Hamburg in 61.
61
but they were done by 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Zeppelin went from 69 and then he died
in 69.
Yeah, they didn't even. The Beatles weren't even a decade.
Yeah.
That's why if people ask me who's better between the Beatles and the Stones, I would just use the fact that the Beatles did what they did in 9 years, and the Stones are pushing 70.
Yeah.
60 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Could you have imagined if the Beatles would have stayed together for 60 years?
They would have killed each other.
How do you think they would have evolved music-wise? How do you think they would have evolved music-wise?
I think they would have gone in separate directions, and they couldn't have stayed together.
Then why have the Stones been able to do it?
I don't know.
Because the Stones stayed mainstream and followed the trends, and they still do. I mean, if you listen to the Stones today,
which I don't,
they fit in with a lot of and use the artists as backup to a lot of what's going on
I
today.
think Tattoo
too.
You was probably the last Stones album I ever really. That was the early '80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, 80, 81,
What's got
82.
Waiting for a Friend? Which one was that on? Was that Tattoo?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was probably the last one. I like that album.
Yeah, I guess.
But I mean, they've just stayed up with the trends. The only reason they don't get played a lot on the radio, other than here, is because they're too old, and the programmers consider them too old for their audience.
The Stones?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a ridiculous way to. If the damn music fits
Steely Dan
today,
Donald Fagen's not young. He's in his mid-70s.
Yeah, there's not a lot of stations that are playing them on that are. They play PEG.
You guys play PEG. You guys play Do It Again. You guys play.
We go deep into.
What's
the
the other
library.
one?
My Old School.
My Old School. I've heard.
Love My Old School.
Yeah, you don't do.
Reeling in the Years.
You don't do Haitian Divorce, do you?
No. No, we don't talk about divorce.
Okay, and
R-V-I-V-O.
do you do Dirty Work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's on. Okay, all right. So, All right, well, we've been all over the place. We've killed 2 hours.
Imagine that.
And thanks again to Don Patterson for always his usual great insight. Hopefully we're back with him talking about a win next Monday, which I think we will be.
I think we will be, too. Okay, so no police reports today.
No cops.
No cops. So we got Molly Scooter coming up next.
Download the new KCJJ app. Keep up with the latest news, weather, and high school sports.